Hi, this is Edith, Educational Technologist at Oregon Tech, and in this video I'm going to go over the layout document tab in Word. So as you can see, I have a document tab, and again, my ruler is up here. It's very helpful, especially when you're doing designing and laying out and such. And so if you don't have a ruler at the top of your page and you want it, you can go over to View, and then you have all of these options here, the view, the grid lines. Grid lines just put grids on the paper, but I will go over more about that when I am ready to do a view view tab video. But for this purpose, I just wanted to show you because there is some things that this does come in very handy for in the layout option. So you have your choices of your margins. The default, of course, is normal, which is 1 inch all the way around. For most assignments and documents, you're going to want the 1 inch all the way around. I do have a document that I did create with a narrow margin, and you can see it shows up as narrow, and that's because I needed the extra space there on the sides so that I can put more information in. And this is a handout, so it didn't really matter whether I had a large margin or not. So that's where you can change your margins. You can also do a custom margin. So if there's something that you want to set up specifically, that's where you would go to do that. Orientation, portrait or landscape, your choice. I find landscape is better for PowerPoints and Excel sheets, but there may be a reason why you would want to have landscape in Word. So that's where you would find that as well. You can choose your page size, and of course our default is 8.5 by 11. That's the standard across the United States. I'm not sure in other countries, but for the United States. But you also have these other options here. So if you want to do a legal document or you want to do a ledger, that's where you would find it here. It's pretty easy to locate. Columns, as you saw, I had a document that was created with columns. Say I want 3 columns, I can do that. I can change these pretty quickly. So you can see at the top, this is where I'm talking about the ruler comes in really handy, because you can see this changing. And what's nice about this too, is the ruler, is that I can use the ruler to change the size of the columns. Maybe I only want this much of the space, and as you can see, it is keeping it they're keeping it the same size. So anything that changes here will also change here. It's just changing the size of the columns so that they all stay equal. But you can customize that as well. The other thing that's really nice about the ruler option is I can actually move these little arrows around, and these are identifiers for the columns where my text is going to be. Perhaps also maybe I want to do a custom margin. I can do it through here as well. So I can actually make these a little bit smaller, and then I've now just created larger columns and less of a margin. And of course I want to make sure I move this here and that stays there. You can also do the same here with the ruler on the side here. So, and be careful, because like when you are moving these little arrows here, sometimes you can get a tab that will sometimes pop up in there. That's what this guy is. It's just a tab. So if you don't want it, you can always undo it, or you can go in and clear them out. So onward to breaks. So you have different types of breaks here. I would recommend reading through them so that you know how they work, and it may be something that you want to do. I do a lot of page breaks, especially if I'm in a document and I haven't used up the full page, but I need to move on to the next page because maybe I'm done with whatever I'm discussing. So like, you're writing a paper and then you need to do appendices or something, or do your reference page. You can create a page break right there, and it'll create its own page break for you, and then you just can go on to the next document. Line numbers, you can actually have line numbers here. So if I hit enter, you can see I get all these numbers. This is especially useful if you're doing a legal document, because they do use that, or if you're giving an assignment and you want students to look at a specific sentence on line 6, So let's go ahead and put this in and say, okay, everybody, I want you to be able to find the alphabets on line 6. So, the students can go there and find the alphabet on line 6. So that's, it's just kind of a way of helping to direct where to look for something. Hyphenation, so that's hyphenating a word. So if the word runs on past the column, so let me just go ahead and do this, and I'm going to go ahead and do an automatic hyphenation. So let's see if it'll do that for me. And let's go ahead and hit enter. And so you can see it gave me my hyphen. So that works very well. It's just to let somebody know that the word isn't finished, so it's just an easy way of doing it, so you don't have to think about it. You can also do it manually, and then you have options, so you can automatically hyphenate the document or hyphenate words in caps. You can actually limit how many hyphenations you want, and then of course you can set up your manual hyphenation. So this is showing it how this would be hyphenated depending on the break of the word where it shows up in here. So I can actually have it here after the IN, or I could do it after the F, or I could do it after the I, which is what's happened here, or I can do it after the E, and then it will just leave the LY there. So that's how you would set up manually. Indentation, of course, we all know how this works. You can move it in, you can move it out, you can format it. You can also use this little guy right here. Oops, see, there's that tab that I was talking about that I don't like, that will sometimes happen. So I'm just gonna hit my undo, and I can actually move this, and you'll see that this number changes. And I could do it again, or maybe I just want to indent the first word. So that gets a little bit interesting. You would just drag that back over, and now when I go to the next line, it will actually be set right. So let's go ahead and put in indefinitely a few times, and it should normally choose to the second line should actually come in here, but that's okay. Why it didn't, I don't know, but this is like here, let's see if it's on my other document. No, I don't have it. Maybe here is a good spot to show it to you. You can see where I have my two different areas where this is. So I have my bullet that's going to show up here. That's what I was missing on the other document. So this is going to be my bullet point. This is where my text is going to start. So that's how you would use that function there. So if I were to bullet it, now you can see my bullet is here and my text starts there. So that's just how you would set that up in that sense. I can also make an indent to the right. I can increase it, and you can see my little arrows moving again. So I can make it very, very small if I want to, or I can put it back to where it was. So I goofed. I didn't want it there. So that's where you would do that. So spacing. So if you don't like the spacing here, you can see I have a before and after. So if I increase my before, I can go like this, and you can see how this increased, and this increased as well. Now, if I were to highlight that again, and because I don't want it like that, you can put it on 0, you can put it on auto. Auto will take whatever style you choose and format it to that style. So most of the times I will just leave this at 0 because I don't like a lot of space between my my text. But for reading purposes, of course, it may be better that I have a larger space between the two, just so that it doesn't look so cramped. So that's how you would do that. So this part here is about pictures. So let's go ahead and bring in a picture. And I'm going to actually bring in 2. because I'm hoping that I can get this to work. I had some problems with it not working before. So, oh, I do that all the time. Okay, let's just put in that same picture. We can put in 2 of those. Not a big deal. Okay, so I have those 2 pictures. Let's go back to layout. So if I were to grab just the one, I can actually change the position of where this picture is going to be. I can put it in the middle of the document. I can put it at the bottom of the document. You see it down there. I could put it at the top of the document. So I have all kinds of places that I can put it, or I can just leave it where it was. So I will just drag it back over here. I can wrap text. If I have text in here, I want to put a text box in here, I can actually do that, or I can wrap text. This is just basically how the information in these boxes will be presented. So basically, like if I choose through, I can actually move this. It didn't select my through. I meant in front of text. Let's go to in front of text. You can see that I can actually move it here and here, and it stays in front. Through should show it as, here. It should actually show it as on top of text. That's really what I was looking for. But all right, let's go ahead and go back to the in front of text. So one of the things I can do is I can actually send that backwards. I'm going to send it behind text. And so that's kind of a nice feature. So if you want to write something over the top of that, you can. Maybe I don't want to, and I want to hide the text behind it because I'm doing something special. Then again, I have that option as well. So now the text is behind there. You can see it still exists, but maybe I want to hide it for whatever reason. Who knows? So that's what these are about. I just would play with them to see how they look. And so like I had mentioned before in another video, I have a preview option that is available that we saw here with the showing the position of the document of the picture, because if I preview it, then I can see exactly what it's going to look like when I'm not sure where I want it, but I'm going to look and see, so I can see exactly where it's going to look like when I put it in. So I'll put it back over here. The other thing I can do is see a list of all your objects. So basically, pictures are considered objects. Text is not, unless you put it in a text box. So, you know, so if I put in a text box, okay, so there's my text box. So now if I go back to my layout and look at the selection pane, you can see that I have a text box and I have two pictures also. I can show all or I can hide all. If I hide all, then I'm able to work on the document. But if I show all, these will still be in place. So just be aware that you do have that option. If you want to select more than one thing, you can hold down your control key, and that will allow you to select both items. So you just hold down control key and click on the item that you want to include. And so what I can do here is I can align all of these to the left. I can align all of these to the right. I can distribute them horizontally. I can distribute them vertically. So I have a lot of options, and that's really nice, you know, to be able to set up a document like this. And this makes it so that everything is just right, just that far apart. Each of these boxes are equally far separate from each other. The other thing I can do is I can actually group all of these. So these now all become one document that I can actually move around and play with. I can, you know, change the size, and it changes the size for all of them, not just for, you know, one picture or another. Maybe I don't want to do that, then I can ungroup them as well and go back to this. But perhaps I wanted to group them in order to change the size so that they all are consistently sized. The other thing I could do is I can rotate. So I can rotate them right, I can rotate them left, or say I just want to rotate one. I can flip it horizontal and vertical. So I have those options as well, and then you have more options here if there's something specific, a specific way that you want to make sure that this one feature is different than the rest. And the lock aspect ratio, this will make sure that if you change the size of the picture or the text box, that it stays this, it has the same ratio. You can uncheck that and then make it kind of well, let's see. So let's unlock that and say okay, and then say I want to just change this. So I can change it so that there's no ratio involved, but I can really spread it out. Or let's try this one. This might be even better to look at because okay, so we don't have the lock aspect ratio. Now I can make it do it itself by taking the corners there, but if I want to really skew it, you can see that now I don't have it's not equally set up so that the picture is perfectly in alignment like this one is. So that's what you can do with that. So that is basically the layout tab. If you have any questions, comments, I didn't cover something, please feel free to contact me, edis.warden@oit.edu. My extension is 51730, or you can always contact me through Skype. Just look for me in the directory, Edis Warden. Thank you and have a great day.